the IUPAC nomenclature. In exam, when you are asked to name a carbon compounds, you must be very careful, because sometimes they will just want you to give the general name, or they may want you to give the IUPAC name. Okay, now what's the difference? What's the difference? Okay, let me show you. Let me show you. Let's say we have a butane, and the structures of the butane is something like this. Okay, now if they ask you what's the homologous series, what's the homologous series for this molecule, because they may ask you a few things. First, they may ask you what's the homologous series. Okay, the homologous series is alkane. This is an alkane. Okay, this is one of the members of alkane. So the homologous series is alkane. Okay. They may ask you to give the name of this alkane. Okay, they ask you to give the name or the general name, So this is a butane. This is a butane. Why butane? Because it has 4 carbons. 4 carbons, and just now we learned that if the number of carbons in the molecule is 4, then we start with but. Okay, and then followed by the suffix ane. So this is a butane. This is a butane. Okay. But if they ask about the IUPAC name, okay, then the name of this this molecule is 2-methylpropane. So this is the IUPAC name, and this is the general name, and this is the homologous series. Okay, so in exam they may ask you the homologous series, and they just ask you the name, or they ask you the IUPAC name, and you need to know the difference between these 3. So today we are going to discuss into detail the IUPAC name. For this one, actually, we already discussed in previous lessons naming alkane. So today we are going to discuss the IUPAC name. Now, what's the IUPAC name? The IUPAC name, not only it tell the bond. Okay, just now we learned that the structural formula. Okay, it tell the bond, right? Okay, so the IUPAC name, not only it tell the bond, it also tell the structure of the molecule. It tells the structure. It tells the branch, the name of the branch, and where is the branch. Okay, of molecule. So we are going to learn that later. So that is IUPAC name. IUPAC actually it stands for International Unions of Pure and Applied Chemistry. Examples. How to give the IUPAC name of an alkane. If you want to write the IUPAC name, the first things that you need to do is to identify the longest chain. The longest chains of the molecule. For example, in this case, this can be the longest chain. Okay, the longest chain. So the longest chain has 4 carbons. The longest chain has 4 carbons. Now, if you don't like this to be the longest chain, then you can choose this as the longest chain. Okay, why? Because you see, it also has 1, 2, 3, 4 carbons, right? Okay, so same. If you choose this 1, 2, 3, 4 carbon, you choose this 1, 2, 3, 4. It's also 4 carbons, right? So it can be this 4 carbon as the longest chain, or this 4 carbon as the longest chain. It's up to you. Okay, which one you like. The longest chain, not necessarily it must be in a straight line like this one. Okay, it can be something like this, L shape or whatever shape it is. Okay, not necessarily it must be in a straight line. But for the convenience of discussions, okay, I prefer to make this the longest chain. So first we identify the longest chain, okay, and then we need to know the name of the longest chain. The longest chain has 4 carbons, 4 carbons, and just now we learned that if it has 4 carbons, the name starts with but, okay, but, and this is alkane, so therefore The name of the longest chain is butane. This is the name of the longest chain. Okay, that's the first thing. And then the second thing is we need to identify the branch. Okay, the branch. Obviously, there's one branch here. Okay, this is the branch. Okay, this is the branch. And all the branches are alkyl. Okay, remember all the branches are alkyl. And this is the branch with only one carbon. So do you still remember what's the name for the branch that only have one carbon? Okay, yes, it's methyl, not methane. Methane. Methane is the alkane. This is alkyl. So the name of the branch is methyl. The third thing is you need to identify the location of the branch. Okay, how to determine the locations of the branch? We determine the locations of the branch from the nearest end of the longest chain. For example, this one. This is the longest chain. Okay, if we start from here, this will be the first carbons, right? First carbon, second carbon, okay, third carbon, and fourth carbon. Okay, but if we start from another side, let's say you start from here, okay, this will be the first carbons, second carbon, third carbon, and fourth carbons. Okay, we start from the nearest end, right? Okay, so we start from here, this will be the second carbon. If we start from here, this will be the third carbon. So therefore, we count, okay, or we determine the positions of the branch from the left. Why? Because the branch is closer or nearer to the left compared to the right. Always remember, we determine the locations or the positions of the branch from the closest end of the longest chain. So the branch closer to the left, so we start from left. So the locations of the branch is the second carbon. The second carbon. Okay, so let's write here. The locations of the branch is second carbon. Okay, after we collect all this information, then we can start naming this alkane. The first thing is you must tell the locations. So 2, that's the locations, dash, then you tell the name of the branch, 2-methyl, 2-methyl, okay? After that, tell the name of the longest chain, 2-methyl butane. So this is the name of this alkane. This alkane actually is a pentane. You need to know that this is a pentane. The general name is a pentane because it has 5 carbons. Just now we have learned that alkane that has 5 carbons is called pentane. So it is a pentane, okay? But the IUPAC name, this is the IUPAC name. Let me write here, IUPAC name. Okay, so the IUPAC name is called 2-methyl butane. So that is how we name or we give the IUPAC name of an alkane. Okay, the first thing, we try to identify the longest chain. How many carbons are there in the longest chain? How many carbons in the longest chain? 5. Okay, that's correct. Okay, now if you take this is the longest chain, then that's not correct. That's not correct. Why? Because this one has only 4 carbons. But if you take this as the longest chain, this one is the longest chain, then you have 5 carbons. Okay, 5 carbons. And the longest chain, not necessary, it must be flat, a straight line, or horizontal, not necessary, okay? It can be L shape or any shape, okay? So the longest chain has 5 carbons, 5 carbon. And so what's the name of the longest chain? So therefore, what's the name of the longest chain? Pentane, that's correct. Pentane. And then we identify the branch, okay? The branch, usually, okay? The branch will be methyl. This is for SPM, okay? SPM normally, they only give you methyl. They seldom give you ethyl or propyl, okay? As I told you just now, I never seen for the past 13 years, I never seen any book or any exam they give you a branch of this ethyl. Okay, so usually the branch is methyl. Okay, methyl is a branch with 1 carbons. Okay, now tell me what's the locations of the branch? 3. Okay, now if we start from here, 1, 2, 3. Okay, if we start from here, also 1, 2, 3, right? Okay, so either side, either side, this side or this side, okay, is 1, 2, 3. So therefore, the locations of the branch is 3. So therefore, what's the IUPAC name of this alkane? Okay, the general name is hexane. This is hexane because it has 6 carbon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is a hexane. But what's the IUPAC name? 3-methyl. Okay, that's good. So the name is 3-methyl, but that's not yet complete, right? 3-methyl. 3-methyl, and then we need to tell the name of the longest chain, pentane. So the IUPAC name of this alkane, the IUPAC name of this alkane is 3-methyl pentane. Is it joined together? Yes, it's supposed to join together. But if you separate it also, it's acceptable. Okay, suppose it's joined together. Okay, so from this example, okay, we learned that the longest chain, not necessarily it must be horizontal or straight line. Okay, tell me what's the number of carbons in the longest chain. Yes, number of carbons in the longest chain. Go, you can only choose 1. It cannot be 4 or 5, okay? So you must choose 1, 4 or 5. 4 carbons. Yes, that's correct, 4 carbons. You can take this as the longest chain, 4 carbons, right? You can also take this as the longest chain. It's also 4 carbons. Or you can take this as the longest chain. It's also 4 carbons. That's the longest chain, 4 carbons. 4 carbons. So the longest chain is a butane. Butane. Then the branch. Okay, now this one, we have 2 branches. 2 branches. This is the first one. And this is the second one. Okay. Now each one has 1 carbons. Each one has 1 carbons. Some students, when they see 2 branches, they think, oh, now I have 1 carbon, 2 carbons, and therefore the name of the branch is ethyl. That's not correct. Okay, that's not correct. Each branch has only 1 carbon, so the name is still methyl. Methyl, but we have 2 branches, right? 2 methyl, 2 branches, 2 methyl, and therefore we say it's dimethyl. Okay, so if you have 2 branches, don't write the name ethyl. Okay, yeah, 2 branches with only 1 carbon each branch. Don't write ethyl. Okay, there are 2 methyl, so we call it dimethyl. Dimethyl. Then the locations. How to tell the locations? Okay, let's say we start from here. 1, 2. Okay, 2, right? But there are 2 branches. 2 branches. In this case, both of these branches attached to the second carbons, no problems, right? But sometimes one attached to the second carbons and one attached to the third carbons. So how to tell the locations? Okay, you need to tell the location for both branches. Even though both of them attached to the same carbons, you need to tell. But how to tell? We write 2, 2. Okay? So 2, 2 means that the first one attached to the second carbon and the second one also attached to the second carbons. Okay, so that is the locations of the branch. Okay, so after we have the locations, the name of the branch and the name of the longest chain, then we can give the IUPAC name. Okay, so what's the IUPAC name? 2, 2 dash dimethyl butane. Okay, so 2, dimethyl butane. Okay, now this one, what's the name of the longest chain? Okay, instead of telling me the number of carbons, tell me the name of the longest chain. Let me tell you, this is the longest chain. Okay, and therefore the name is pentane. Okay, pentane. Okay, always remember, a branch cannot attach to the first carbon of the longest chain. If the branch attached to the first carbons of the longest chain, then the branch will become part of the longest chain and is no more the branch. Okay? So if you see something like this, there is a branch attached to the first carbons, then you must be very careful, okay? This cannot be a branch. If attached to the first carbon, then it will be part of the longest chain. It will be part of the longest chain, okay? And therefore, the longest chain has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carbons. Be careful, right? Name of the branch, methyl, of course. Okay. Locations, 1, 2, 3. Or you start from here, 1, 2, 3. So it should be 3, 3. So the name is 3-methyl pentane. 3-methyl pentane. That is how we name this alkane. So 13, let's start from 13. Okay, so this is the longest chain, and it has no branch or branches. No branch or branches, okay? And it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 carbons. So therefore the name is heptane. Okay, so the general name is heptane and the IUPAC name is also heptane. No branch or branches. Okay, the branch cannot be attached to the first or the last carbons. So these two are not branches. It's part of the longest chain. So the name is heptane. Okay. 14. This is the longest chain. Okay, this is the longest chain, and this is the branch. This is another branch. For this one, you can start from here, or you can also start from here. You will get the same thing, okay? Same name. So let's say we start from here. 1, 2, 3. 3. This is 3. Okay, and this will be 4. Okay. Now, if you start from here again, then both these branches must be count from this end. Okay, you cannot say, okay, this one from here is 3. Okay, this one from here is 3. So therefore, the position is 3, 3. No, cannot. Okay, if you start from here, then means both of the branches you must count from this end. Okay, you cannot count one from this end, another one from this end. Okay, so therefore the position is 3, 4. 3, 4 dash dimethyl, because there are 2 methyl. The longest chain, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hexane. Okay, 3, 4 dimethyl hexane. Okay, so the name is 3, 4 dimethyl hexane. Next, the longest chain. This one is quite confusing actually. This is the longest chain, and this is the branch. The branch attached to 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. So the positions of the branch is 3, 4 dimethyl. Longest chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. The name is octane. Now usually in SPM they won't give you this complicated case. Okay, this one just want to test you in. Just want to test you in. In exam they will give you a very simple one. Okay, it won't be as complicated as this one. 16. The longest chain is this. Okay, and these are the branches. Okay, so the name 1, 2, 3. 3 dimethyl. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 heptane. Heptane. Okay. Next one. Okay, the longest chain. Let's take this one again. This is the longest chain, and this is the branch. Okay, first, second, third, fourth, fifth. Okay, so therefore the positions of the branches is 2, 5. 2, 5 dash dimethyl. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 octane. The name is octane. These are the name for this IUPAC name for this alkane.